Just wanted to remind everyone that tonight's sessions will be recorded on our unlisted YouTube channel. Please use the chat feature if you do not want your voice to be recorded. However, this is an interactive
Just wanted to
session. Remind everyone that all right, sorry about that. We were experiencing some technical difficulties, but I worked through that. All right, so good evening. Welcome, welcome. We'll be starting in 2 more minutes. Welcome to the Sizzle and Shine series. Two more minutes and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, it's that time. First of all, I would like to thank you so much for joining us. I am Kiona, the founder and ED of TouchGift Foundation, the creator of the Sizzle and Shine series. Well, again, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Tonight's session is titled Unleash Your Strengths, Chart Your Path to Success. It's one of our career exploration series. As you know, the Sizzle and Shine series is embarked upon 3 tracks. Our first track is our leadership development. The second one is the career exploration. And the third one is the skill building. So tonight we have a phenomenal speaker. I love me some Danita Patterson. If you don't know Danita, I want to introduce you to one of the phenomenal Danita Patterson. She is the founder, CEO of Destiny Outreach, a Renaissance woman. Danita Patterson, aka Danita Destiny, is an entertainment entrepreneurial, creative visionary, filmmaker, and TV producer in the entertainment industry. Now, Danita is a dynamic, inspirational brand and a transformative leader for relevant times. She's also the principal content developer of Destiny Unlimited, Inc., a family entertainment company that creates, develops, and produces innovative films, TV, and new media content. As a producer and writer, her productions, credits, and develops work over 26 years, include more than 120 episodes of television programming for no other than ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, Tribune Entertainment, WGN networks, and local affiliates, as well as films. Now, listen, she was recently featured in Screen Magazine for her own upcoming feature film, Healing Circles, which will now be in production, which was in production in 2021. She also has worked with Sony on the grassroots marketing for mega hits Heaven is for Real, okay, which outplaced all industry estimates and grossed more than 100 million worldwide at the box office. It currently stands in the second highest grossing faith-based films of all times. Now, I can definitely go through her bio and read all of her accolades, but I'm just honored that she has decided to join us, and you guys have decided to join us this evening. So I am going to pass the baton to my dearest friend, no other than Danita Patterson the Great. Can we get a virtual round of applause for Danita? And before we even I pass the baton, I just want to also share with you guys, this is an interactive station. Danita hosts workshop seminars where the space is over 500 plus participants. So we want to welcome her for being able to just pour into us tonight. So thank you, Danita, for joining us. I'm honored.
Thank you so much, Kiona, and welcome everyone. It's so good to see you in here and those who are with us virtually. I am so excited to be with you because this is really close to my heart. Thank you for the introduction and all of the things that I have been able to achieve in my background, but we all are on an equal playing field in that we all are on a career quest. We all are navigating our path to success, through success, and to the next level of success. So we are truly going to have a wonderful time tonight. I'd love for you to come off of those, come on camera. As Kiona shared, this is an interactive session. What I tell people around the country where I've been able to speak and teach, as the founder of Destiny Outreach and as a speaker and trainer of those unlocking their destiny and helping them with leadership development as well as professional development, is that what you put in is what you get out. We are going to, do a deeper dive. I'm going to first just kind of sharing what the session is. We're going to actually go over a little of what we did in session one for those who did not join us for session one and those who are back again. We'll go over some session one. And then today we are going to do a deeper dive around some of the aspect of changing careers at the crossroads. And really, a lot of times we really don't realize that other people are going through the same crossroads that we may be going through. And so a lot of people, I want to set some things up for what the sign of the times is so that you can really feel comfortable that you're in good company, that whether you're with a corporation or whether you're with an employee or a business owner, everybody's in a crossroads right now. So first and foremost, again, I'm Danita Patterson. I'm the CEO of Destiny Unlimited, which is a production and entertainment family production company, as well as I am the founder of Destiny Outreach. And we're going to dive in here. Last time that we were together, we really began to speak about who am I and why am I qualified to teach this series. So I actually knew my destiny and purpose at a younger age. And so I was able to have a faster start and to go a little further because I knew some tools and some techniques that helped me because people like myself poured into me when I was younger. And some of you are at crossroads. You may be young adults. I want you to make sure that you use the chat feature. I want you to raise your hand if you have a question. I want you to come on camera. And there's going to be some times where I'm going to ask you some questions and you're going to be writing, you're going to be reflecting. Do some things that really allow you to excavate that person that's on the inside of you. A lot of times we have math literacy, we have history, we have science, but self-literacy is something that really empowers us. Thank you. I see you coming on camera. Come back on. I see that face. Self-literacy is something that is really important. When we know who we are, it gives us an understanding of our strengths, of our weaknesses, of our abilities, of our talents, of our gifts, and of our graces that really help us to navigate through this life so that we can plug and play with the type of jobs, opportunities, and career path that really helps us to have a meaningful life. Where I have a quote, making meaning, making money while making great impact. And so for me, it's not just about making money, but what is the meaning? How can I use my talents, my gifts, and the strengths that I have to plug in to make meaning, but also make an impact on others? And that's what I hope I'll be able to do today with you all as you've trusted me with your sense of destiny to unlock it and to journey with you on your pathway to success. So last time when we were together, we talked about the purpose of this Career Quest series that Touch Gift Foundation is doing is one, to help you clarify your vision in life, in school, and in work, and in a career. It also is to connect you with the who you are and who am I. For some of you who may not have been with us last time, I'm going to ask you that question. And I want you to get pens and paper out as well as journal books. And I want you just to right now write down quickly, when I ask you the question, who am I? I want you to write down, who am I? Who am I? Ask yourself that question, because these type of questions are the beginning of even understanding what's the big what's next for me. Who am I? That's one of the things that we touched on in session one. We also began to talk about, what should I do with my life? What should I do for a living? So who am I? And then what should I do with my life? These are big questions, but these are big questions that we all have to answer. And then I'm also going to add, what is your why? Many people are just doing things for sometimes superficial reasons, if we're being really honest. But when you know your why, and your why is deeply rooted in your who, and it's deeply rooted in what you want to do with your who, it gives you a purpose and it gives you a meaning, and it allows you to ground yourself so that no matter how much life is spinning around you, no matter how much change is happening around you in so many different ways, when you know your who, when you know your do, and when you know your why, it can really anchor you to actually have a confidence and an esteem and a security that other people may not understand. Why is Kim so confident? Why is Kiona able to move and have build businesses and build nonprofit entities and do stuff to help each other? Because there's a why. There's something on the deep inside of her that is driving her, because she's using her gifts. And that's what all of you may already be doing, but you're looking at what's next. We also begin to talk about, where am I today? We've been through a pandemic. My industry has been through 2 strikes. Other people have been through losses, deaths of family members, loss of job. All kind of things have happened in our lives in the past 4 years that none of us really expected. So sometimes it's good, as I was teaching and am teaching, to do an inventory. Where am I today? And one of the things you're going to learn about me is I believe it's important to be honest. You might want to lie to everybody else, but don't start the practice of lying to yourself. Because if you lie to yourself, you don't really have the answers that's going to help you move past where you are now to where you want to be in the future. So be honest. Where am I today? Answer that question for yourself, because it may say, I'm broke. I want to retire, but I'm not in a position to retire. I want to jumpstart or reboot a career in this particular area. I like my company, but I don't like my role and position that I'm in. Where am I today? And this may be in the area, of course, we're talking about career, but you can do this in the area of your life, in the area of your family, in the area of your finances. But you got to ask yourself some questions and be honest, so that then you can do a self-assessment to know, where do I want to move from here moving forward? I also asked, where do I want to go? So if I know where I am today, but then I know where I want to go, it's just like if I know I want to go to New York, I can either choose to take a plane, a train, a bus, but I know where I'm going. And then I can start choosing the map and the way that I'm going to get there. That's important for your life and for your career. And also, what do I want? This is a question that I have found whether I'm talking to a celebrity, whether I'm talking to a business owner, a college student, a young adult. When I ask, what do you want? That's a question that sometimes people can answer easily, but most time people don't know what they want. And people don't take the time to actually ask themselves what they want. They may ask somebody else what they want. But I'm asking you right now, what do you want? Without any limitations, without any expectations of, I can't do this because of this or that, and all the excuses that we can come up with. What do you want? What do you want? If you don't answer that question now, I want you between now and the end of this year to really ask yourself genuinely, deeply, authentically, what do I want? And I'm letting that linger deliberately. I'm using the silence deliberately because I'm talking to your heart. I'm talking to you, not any facades, not any roles that you have, but what do you want? These are the kind of things that we don't stop in life a lot of times to really ask these hard questions of ourselves, because these are foundational questions that get us to some of the places that we want to get to on our pathway to success. As I shared with you, we also talked about what is your why? And we delved into what's your DVD. At Destiny Outreach, we work with youth 12 to 17 and 18 to 35 plus, helping them to realize their ultimate potential in life, school, and work. And we expose them to careers in entertainment, technology, and business. And so we have worked over the years with 20,000 plus people, not only in Chicago, but in Los Angeles and DC and San Francisco and in Atlanta and and just all parts of this country. And we have understood something key. People have a dream, people have a vision, people have a destiny. So we begin to go into what is your DVD? What's your dream? What's your vision? What's your destiny? As you are looking and on this career quest, navigating your path to success and navigating some shifts that we're going to talk into, it's important for you to know what is your DVD? What's your dream? What's your vision? What's your destiny? And to do a deeper dive into that. We talked about what that was all about. We also went into the different tools that are out there that we have access to. First of all, Uncle Google is one of those tools that we can use. There are all kind of assessment tools for relationship, for personality profile. On our website, you can find that. But also, I believe Kiona had up, and you might want to put this in the chat for others. But if you go to www.assessment.com, that's a place with motivational appraisal, personal potential tests. When you take that, it actually will ask you for 15, 20 minutes some questions that may feel random. But those random questions are going to actually begin to point you in a direction of some of the type of career paths or career choices that are connected to your personality and connected to things you like and don't like. For instance, I'm a person who likes diversity. And I'm speaking of diversity of activity, diversity of, I'm multi gifted. So I'm a writer, producer, singer, songwriter, businesswoman, speaker, teacher, trainer. I just named about 7, 8 things. I don't do them all at the same time, but I have done them in the course of my career, and I do them in a cadence. But a lot of times I like to do what I do well, but I don't like to be bored. So for me, I'm a person who needs to have diversity in my work, diversity in my activity. And so in that activity, it helps me to actually stay very motivated because I'm doing one thing, I do that well, and then something else links into that and it ties that really well, and it keeps me excited and it keeps me engaged. However, somebody else may like the monotony of a particular function and the rudimentary aspect of doing this, and this. and that's fine. Neither one is right or wrong. But you need to know that about yourself, because sometimes that's the difference between what job you're going to take, what career path you're going to choose, so that you're able to know that it is matching and fitting you. So I would, if you have not already done it, I would really recommend that you do that personality assessment test, because it will actually either confirm some things you're already doing or allow you to look a little more into a direction of, I never thought about that. The other thing is, if you've taken assessments in the past, maybe 10 years ago or 5 years ago, take it again, because who you were 5 years or 10 years ago is not necessarily who you are today and what you want today. So I actually have found that some things I loved doing in my 20s and in my 30s, I may not like doing that right now. And so I change, I grow, I mature, and so do you. So make sure you use that as a tool. Also, the Clifton Strengths Finder is another online assessment that you can take. It will actually do a deeper dive into some of your strengths. We need to know ourselves, because many times we're aimlessly moving through life, just taking what somebody gives us and just, oh, well, I'm just going to this job, I'm just doing this career. And if you're going to have to work, why don't you work on something that you enjoy doing and something that matches your skill sets, your strengths, your abilities, so you can play to win instead of just in there. I mean, yes, you may need the check, but there's a check connected to a number of jobs and a number of careers. So why not live your purpose and destiny? Know what your DBD is, your dream, your vision, and your destiny. Know your why, know your who, know your do, and actually show up where you can make meaning while making money as well as making impact. And that's what I have found, whether I've been in a recession, whether I've been in a pandemic, because I love what I do, it allows me to navigate through that a lot differently than some of my colleagues and some of my friends. People say, "Well, how can you be so joyful? How can you have so much, just levity in the midst of a pandemic?" I created 2 TV shows in the middle of the pandemic, because you know why? My computer and my pen was not in a pandemic. My computer and my creativity and my sense of dreaming and my imagination, it wasn't stuck. And I made sure that it wasn't stuck. So those are some of the tools that we talked about. There's also, you can just put in Google, what are some of the best personality and career tests online? And they will come up. Take 15, 20 minutes out of your time, and that will actually allow you to get some information about yourself that is going to help you to navigate how you map quest this journey of your career. And then the other last thing that we really delved into in session one was be a lifelong learner. Lifelong learning basically means, I don't care if you're 71, I don't care if you're 89. Until you take your last breath, you should be always learning, reading a book, journaling, taking some self analysis, like the time that you're taking right now to be in this workshop experience, going to retreats, taking a class someplace, asking yourself questions like I'm sharing with you, those questions that get you to think, hmm, what do I want? Who am I? Why am I doing what I'm doing? What vicious cycles am I in that I need to break so that I can get to the other side of some things? If I say I want something, why am I procrastinating? Why am I not doing it? What step do I need to take next? You see how these questions, they can get under your skin. They can get under your skin, but in a good way. In a good way, because they allow you to get moving forward. Also, have accountability circles. Many times, it may be our parents, it may be our loved ones, it may be a child, but who in your life is going to say, Shaniqua, you said you wanted to do X, Y, and Z. Um, I'm wondering when you're going to get to it. You need somebody who, we call them at Destiny Outreach, dream keepers. Who are the dream keepers in your life? We got some haters. We know who those people are, right? But who are your dream keepers? Who are the people who you said you're going to write a book, and 6 months later, they're like, excuse me, you said. Who are the people you said, I'm taking a vacation, and you haven't done it? And they're like, okay, now, Leanne, Lillian, you said you were going to take this vacation. When are you going to do that? Who are the people who are going to get a little under your skin and make sure that you stay committed to your commitment? Whether you're on speaker or not, I want you to say, I want to be, I'm looking at your mouse, I want to be committed to my commitments. Now I want you to say, I will be committed to my commitments. See, when we make a commitment, it's just like when you make a commitment to somebody else, they're expecting you to keep that commitment. But I'm telling you, you're the first person that you should be making a commitment to. And you should remain committed to your commitment. You can want it, but then you've got to will it. I will be committed to my commitments. You're taking time out of your evening tonight to join us, or today, or whatever zone you're in, state you're in, country you're in. You're taking time to be committed to your commitment because your who and your do and your why is important, because it's time for you at the end of this year to be positioned for a powerful 2025. We're going to leave the past behind because it's over. And we've learned from it. We're going to take the silver linings from it, but it's time to move forward. So that accountability circle is really important because you need people who are going where you're going, they're already where you want to go, or they see something in you that is going to allow you to be more than who you are right now and to experience more of the success that you want in career, but also in life. One of the things I want to say to you, being someone who works in Hollywood and being someone who is around people from all walks of life and different disciplines, being a businesswoman as well, I really see a lot of people who are not being true to themselves all the time. And they may have money, but I got something many times that money can't buy that they value in me. And I value that. And I don't take that lightly. And that's why I spend the time to make sure that I let people know it's not just about your job. It's not just about your career. It's not just about the money. It's about you. Because I work with people. I don't work with money. I work with people who help to produce the product or produce the service that brings forth the money. We're in a society now where you ask people a question and all they want to say is, I want to get the bag, I want to get paid. But there's got to be a process to get paid and get the bag. So if that's what your motivation is, if the bag goes away and the money goes away, what else you living for? When we all were sitting on our sofas at the house, stuck, couldn't get the bag, couldn't go in and do whatever you were doing, who were you in that moment? You still were yourself, but who were you? So your motivation of how you're getting to your end game has to really have some substance. And I have found that the staying power of people who I've run into, whether they're in my industry or in other industries, doctors, lawyers, engineers, people working in service and airports. And I have found that there are people I have seen with a joy because they've been connected to their strengths, their abilities, they're people who just love customer service. And I tell you, in a world where the dying art of customer service is almost dead, you will make yourself a diamond if you are giving customer service wherever you are. Because right now, that is not something that people are putting a lot of value on. So whether you are in account services, whether you are a student, whether you're working in a restaurant, wherever you are, customer service, understanding that people, we make the business, we make it go round. We are the currency. We're the currency that is bringing currency. So I want you to respect your currency. And your currency is you. You're the currency. You're able to create currency and you're able to command currency. So when I'm speaking and teaching or doing life coaching or destiny coaching, I'm able to command a certain amount of money for it because the currency that I have gathered over this time is now able to be shared with you in such a way that there's value. And the currency that's on the inside of you, your ability to speak, your ability to write, your ability to use your hands in a successful way, your ability to market, your ability to gather people, your ability to heal people, your ability to gather people in certain, whatever your ability is, that is a currency. And I want you to spend it well. So I just want to take a pause really quick, and I want you to write down, what are some of the currencies that I'm holding? What are the currencies that I'm holding? I'm not talking about cash. I'm talking about you. What are the currencies that I am holding, that I have on the inside of me? One of my currencies is that I speak, I teach, I'm a thinker, I'm a writer, I produce, I gather, I connect, I create, I develop, I sing. Those are currencies that are on the inside of me that I can use those currencies at will and when I need. What's one of your currencies? Are you a leader? Do you have a mothering, nurturing spirit? Do you have a fathering, mentoring? Are you a mentor? What are some of those currencies? Because those things can actually lead you and help you think through some of those hard questions of, what's my big what's next? I've been successful here, or I'm on my way to success in what I'm doing, but how can I go to the next level? The next level is knowing how to add value. Your currency adds value to that job. Your currency adds value to that career experience. Your currency is what you can take pride in fostering and protecting. Some people don't protect their currency because they don't value themselves. But I'm here to tell you, you're worth more than you have been giving yourself credit for. I'm pausing deliberately. You are worth more than you're giving yourself credit for. You are devaluing yourself at times when you need to give yourself more credit and more value than you're giving yourself. I don't want you to keep doing that, because that is costing you and you're paying a price that is too high. And that's your life, and that's your joy, and that's your meaning, and that's your impact. So those are some of the things. The last thing was remaining teachable. You know, when you got the I know it all, I got this attitude, you really have got to just let your pride take a chill pill, right? None of us have it all. We're learning, we're growing, and like I said, until the day you die, you will be in lifelong learning. You will be a student of life, because life will teach you, whether you want your PhD or your master's or your BS or your BA or your GED or your whatever certificate. Life is going to teach you something, and you better just be up for the learning. And I tend to just be that person who stays positive and who's going to get the silver lining. It can be a storm, but I'm going to find the eye in the middle of that storm. I'm going to find the silver lining in it. And that will help you no matter what life brings, that you're going to bring yourself to that life. So those are some of the things that we tackled and went a lot deeper in session one. And as we shift into what we want to do today, I was really thinking about, okay, who's going to be here today? And who's out there that's feeling this right now? I like to take the temperature and make sure that stuff is relevant, right? Something that I want to bring us to today is changing careers at the crossroads. There's a lot of people who are at a crossroads. By the show of hands, by some folks giving me some answers in chat, who's at a crossroad? I just want to know who's at a crossroad. I'm going to look in here for a moment. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Shaniqua. I see. Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you. Okay. Who else is at a crossroad? I see more people here. Who's going to be honest? Who's at a crossroad? Okay. Okay. Anybody else at a crossroad? I know you are because when I come into, I pray about stuff. Yeah, I'm a woman of faith as well, right? I don't like to just show up and do something just to be doing it. I'm a woman on purpose with a purpose. Okay. So when I came here, I wanted to know, what do they need to know today? Okay. So it's a lot of people. I've got colleagues, whether they own businesses, whether they are working for somebody and they're at crossroads, whether they're the CEO. I know someone who's in the process of shifting out of their business and handing it over to someone else. All right. Okay. I see you. I see you. I want to talk about pivoting. When you're at a crossroad, I like to call it a pivot. Sometimes we put a negative tinge on crossroads. Oh man, I got to change. See, a lot of people are afraid of change. I'm not. I actually love change. Now, I don't like negative change, but I like change, right? I like change because I told you I like diversity of activity. So if I'm just la 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 la, for me, that's not going to work for me. I like roller coasters. So I like that I'm going down. Oh, there's a twist. Oh, I'm upside down. I like that. That's my personality. So even in business, I do like some of the twists and the turns. I'm an innovator. So innovators don't like to just stay right here. Innovators like, well, what if we, what if we, oh, and so how can you pivot right where you are? How can you be an innovator right where you are? I don't know where you are. I don't know where you work, but how can you pivot through innovation, pivot through creativity, pivot through being a solutionist, being someone who is problem solving for something? Don't complain about something. Sometimes the very thing you're complaining about is what you're called to fix. Sometimes you say, oh man, they should do. Maybe it's you should. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. And so, what's really important is knowing how to move in the midst of your company, of your organization, of your entity with a sense of, I'm going higher. I'm going to be better. I'm going to help this organism, this situation move to the next level. And like someone here, someone here said they're not at a crossroad, but they need to add a faster type, what is it, a faster gas to their car. So you need to move a little faster in what you're doing. So, which technically crossroads can be taken in a lot of different ways. A crossroad can be, okay, I'm at this level. I need to go to this level. You can want a promotion at your job. You could say, you know what? I've been in the same job for 7 years. I need to mix this up just a bit. So no matter where you are, the key is understanding that when you pivot, it's thinking out of the box. You need to think out of the box. You need to stretch your mind like a rubber band. It's going to come back, but stretch it. And sometimes doing the activity of just saying, what if? So I like to play a game with myself. What if? So let's do this right now. What if? What if money was not an issue? What would you do? Write it down. What if money was an issue? What would you do? What would you be doing right now with your career, with your all your gifts, all your talents and your purpose? If money were not an issue, what would you do or be doing right now? Next, what if? What if time and age was not an issue? What would you be doing right now? What if time and age was not an issue? What would you be doing right now? Next question. What if whoever you called would help you with the vision and the problem that you're trying to solve? What would you call them to ask them or to tell them that you're doing and that you need to solve? These what ifs is not a bunch of flowery fairy tale, Disney-esque movie stuff. This is the aspect of asking the what ifs. When I was working on a television show that some of you all may know, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I walked up to Will Smith one day and I said, "Hey, one day I'm going to be in multiple aspects of the media, and you're the closest thing to that. I would love to sit down with you and find out what that's like." That was a what if. What if he says yes? Well, he said yes. And when he said yes, that ended up being a job that he asked me 2 weeks after our talk, after our conversation, "How would you like to work for me?" Now I said, "It depends." I said, because I had a vision already and he fit into my vision as I fit into his vision. So these what ifs are not a bunch of fairy tales, because I'm a living example that you having a "Well, what if, I could have talked myself out of asking him that question. I could say, "Oh no, he's too busy. Oh no, that's not appropriate." But I just asked the question. And in asking that question, a whole trajectory for my career came out of that. So, what are the what ifs that you need to be asking yourself at this crossroad or at this time where you're wanting to go faster and further? Sometimes faster means that you also need to make sure you have people around you that can push you to the next level. So I want everybody to do like this. Everybody, some of you I can see, some of you I can't. Now I want you to take your right elbow and I want you to make it go up. And I want you to have tension. Now, I want you to pull your right elbow up so much that it begins to start breaking your hands apart. Now, this is what happens when you are with people who don't want to go up with you to the level that you're going up, okay? But I want you to do it again. This is what it looks like when you're going up together with people who are at your pace and level. You guys are helping each other go up, okay? Now we're going to do this a little differently. Sometimes you're going up and this person is resisting you because they don't want to change. And you're saying, "Well, I'm going up. I'm going to the next level." But this person may then try to pull you this way. And so you have to decide what kind of upward mobility and who's going to help you with the upward mobility, or at least go with you at the same pace. I want people who have gone further than myself or who are at least where I am so that they can push me further and faster. When there's wisdom of somebody from the other side, Titus, that takes us faster. When there's somebody who's done what we're trying to do and we take some time to sit down with them and say, "Hey, I'd love to have a 15-minute, informational meeting with you." Don't take a lot of people's time. And when you take that time of 15 to 20 minutes, have your questions ready. Have the problem that you're trying to solve ready. Many of you are here tonight. There's some answers I may have for you. And you have to maximize these moments because you don't always have access to people. And when you maximize the moment, you may get an answer that changes your life for the rest of your life. And so what you put in is what you get out. And so I wanted to definitely make sure that we could really talk about pivoting, ingenuity of it, the innovation of it, problem solving. Some of you may be on an existing job. How many of you are happy where you are right now? You're happy with, everything's just good. I feel great and I don't want any change in my life right now. How many of you are just fine with where you are right now? How many want more? If you want more, I want you to just put in the chat more. Just put in the chat more. Put in the chat, "I want more." Okay, put in the chat, "I want more." If you want more out of your life right now, I want more. I want more. Yes. Most of us are not wanting to be complacent. We are wanting more out of our lives. Even if we're happy where we are, we want to go to the next level. And those are the crossroads. Just when you graduate from high school, that's a crossroads to, are you going to college? Are you going to a trade school? Are you going to get a job? It's not a right or wrong answer. It's what's right for you. When you graduate from that trade school or from that college or that, or that university, wherever, it's now a crossroad to real life and to the real world. And so we all are at a crossroads. We're coming out of a pandemic. We're coming out of elections. And it doesn't matter who you voted for and who you didn't vote for. But the bottom line is we're in a world that has all of this kinetic energy and all this change and all this chaos and all this energy around us. What is it that we are going to be in the midst of this? What do we want in the midst of this? Change is inevitable. It's always going to happen. But what change are you going to bring to the change? Who are you going to be in this time and in this hour? This is what's important. I'm spending time in these areas because this is the career quest. Who you are is the currency. You are a part of the economy. And without you in the economy, it doesn't move the way it needs to move. And so you need to know, where do you want to play in this economy? Where do you want to put your skills and your gifts and your talents in this economy? When you're not thinking about this like that, then other people are just using you to get their bag, to get their cash. And you're not really getting anything out of it, but just paying your bills. You're not on this thing tonight just to pay bills. You're on this thing tonight so that you can find out, man, I need some motivation. I need some different tools. I need to be around some different people because I want some different outcomes and I want some different results in my life. I want to make meaning while making money, while making great impact for my life, for my family, for my children, for my community, for my city, for my country. You want to be able to, let's see, somebody else, I want the same in the, what is this? I want more, but in the same field. Yeah. And so it's extremely important for you to begin to live your life with more purpose and more meaning. If there's anything we learned from the pandemic, it's that life can be short, life can have some uncertainty to it, and life is what you make it. We all have the gift, the present of this life. And I choose to be fully present to unwrap my gift every day and see what else is in here. Tonight, I'm unwrapping my gift and I'm sharing a portion of this part of my gift with you because I want you to achieve and accomplish everything that you came on this planet to accomplish. I don't want you sitting around twiddling your thumbs, talking about if I coulda, shoulda, mighta, oughta, hadda. It all died when Didn't was born. This is not the season for didn't do it. This is the season for get up and do it. Put some action to your words. Stop talking about it, be about it. The difference between somebody who is walking in their dream and somebody who's not is somebody who took a chance, somebody who believed they could do it, somebody who opened their mouth, somebody who knocked on a door, somebody who was not afraid to fail, somebody who was not afraid to succeed. All of this is real. Most people don't talk about the process between our curriculum at Destiny Outreach is called Dreams and Destiny. And it's built on 3 F's: finding your dream, fighting for your dream, and fulfilling your dream. A lot of people talk about the finding their dream, and a lot of people talk about the fulfilling their dream. But how many people do you hear talking about the fighting for the dream? It's in the middle part here that we have to believe in ourselves, that we have to move past the haters, that we have to identify the dream keepers, that we have to do the work, that we have to go take classes, do training, that we have to get critiques, get feedback, and not be insulted when somebody says, you can do that a little better. This is where we have to humble ourselves. This is where we have to have patience. We have to wait. This is where I was supposed to shoot and do the movie that she shared. That was supposed to shoot in the during the pandemic, before the pandemic hit. We were scheduled to shoot the movie. Do you think I planned for a pandemic? Do you think when I was planning to shoot in Chicago, my hometown, that I was expecting that a pandemic was going to literally just change the world and change my schedule? No, I did not think that. That's in the fight. I had to fight to believe that this still was going to happen in spite of something that was literally globally unearthing to everybody's life. But the good news is 2025, this is what it is, And so this is the fight. Fight for your dream. Fight for that purpose. But know what you're fighting for. And that's why the who, the do, and the why is so important for you to settle that at these crossroads or at these pivots that you're making. No matter what your pivot is. My pivot is not your pivot. And your pivot is not my pivot. The other thing that I want you to do is to begin to think about retooling your vision, retooling where you are, reposition yourself. So if you're in a company right now, if you're in a job right now, how can you retool that to get even more out of where you are? Sometimes we just settle for less, as opposed to, just a shift this way, just a shift this way. Even if you just look at a person, I'm sitting like this, right? Think about this as your career. Okay, so I'm sitting just straight on, right? But just this little shift is different, right? This sometimes may be that shift that you make in the position that you're in. Even like this, there's a little more command, right? A little more comfort. Sometimes we're in our jobs just like this. We're in our career like this. But when we begin to shift our posture in our position in that job, you may become more confident. The shift may be confidence. The shift may be, I'm going to speak up more. The shift may be, I'm going to ask for a promotion. The shift may be, I'm going to ask for them to pay for me to go back to school. The shift may be, I'm going to go and get that internship. I'm going to do that fellowship. I'm going to take that class. I'm going to do that trade. The shift may be all of those different things, but you got to shift. A shift is a good change. It's a different position. And that different position can cause you to get more out of life, to go faster, to go further, to do what you need to do. But you also got to change your mindsets. Success is a mindset. Success, say that with me, success is a mindset. Okay, someone asked, you gonna come on camera? I see someone who said, what about the obstacles that you know are there? Obstacles are gonna always be there. Let's talk about Chicago potholes. Let's talk about Chicago construction. I need to go from downtown Chicago to O'Hare. They're doing construction. Or I need to go out to Barrington. They're doing construction. It's obstacles. It's negative stuff in my way, right? But I'm still going where I'm going. And so it's not that there's not going to be obstacles. Like I said, in the fight, there are dream keepers and there are dream haters. There's obstacles. There's the unknown. There's the unexpected. There's the uncertain. There's the things that you're afraid of. You can be an obstacle in your way. The procrastination, the I can't do it, the negativity, right? But the key is looking at that obstacle, not acting like it's not there, but becoming a problem solver of how do I either move around this obstacle, speak to that obstacle so it can get out of the way. Sometimes, I on Instagram, I have I actually have a quote that I shared, and a lot of people, it went viral. I said, fear is false evidence appearing real. Many times we are so in fear that fear is an obstacle, and that fear of your greatness, fear that you could fail, fear is something that can be an obstacle. You need to move that out of the way. What if you tried to do it and you actually succeeded? So the obstacles are going to be there. Every person who's done anything great had to move beyond obstacles. It may have been racism, it may have been finances, it may have been genderism, it may have been ageism, it may have been they were too short, they were too tall, they were too brown, they were too this. There's always going to be a two, 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 two. But the bottom line is you got to want it enough to move past the obstacles. Sometimes those obstacles may be too big for you to move past on your own. That's where you have that accountability. That's where you have other dream keepers that can help you. Remember, I said sometimes you got people who are on the level with you and they're able to go up with you and you guys can be there for each other. Sometimes this is not going to work. You just pulling dead weight. But there's some people who sometimes this is not negative. Let's say I'm in high school or college and this person has a PhD. They're pulling me up so that I can begin to go higher and I can begin to see myself, in the way that they have been able to achieve. So sometimes you need people who have been someplace that you're trying to go and they can pull you up higher and they can help get you on the other side of the obstacle that you have in your life. But I do want to make sure that you ask yourself, am I afraid? Am I afraid? Am I afraid to fail? Am I afraid to succeed? Am I afraid to fail? Am I afraid to succeed? These are questions that we don't always realize that we may have a fear of success. Well, if I'm successful and this happens, if I fail, what are they going to think? The bottom line is when your who and your do and your why are bigger than the what ifs out here of what could possibly happen with the obstacles of life, it is going to move you way past all of those issues that you may have of the obstacles because we all have obstacles. So I hope that answers that for someone who shared what about the obstacles that are there. I would just say go for it. In spite of it all, go for it. But knowledge is power. So when you're so welcome, knowledge is power. So the other thing I want to say is when you see a problem in front of you, it may take some research. It may take some investigation, some inventory. You may have to call and say, hey, Kiana, I'm dealing with this problem. Hey, friend. Hey, husband. Hey, wife. Hey, boyfriend. Hey, girlfriend. Hey, teacher. Hey, coach. I'm dealing with this issue. Right now, it's an obstacle, but I know I can conquer this. What would be your take on this? How would you move through this? How would you leap over this hurdle? And getting that input from that person and this person, and then you sit with yourself and say, now, just like the Pentagon, you got a strategy. You got a strategy of the way I can get around this obstacle is by doing this, or by going under it, or by leaping over it, or by speaking to it and blowing it up and it's just out of the way. So there's always a way to get past, to get through, to get over, to get under whatever obstacles in your way. So that's for all of us. So thank you for asking that because that is for all of us. We're going to have a fight. Anything worth having is going to be a fight to get, or else everybody would have it. So I want you to fight for, and fulfill your dreams because you only have one life. And like I said, we realized in the pandemic that this life is meaningful and we can't just be living aimlessly. I don't care how old you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. This life is worth living. So until you take your last breath, you need to be living with intention and you need to be living with a sense of purpose and destiny, with a dream, with a vision and a destiny. And you need to know if that job is not working for you, is not matching, plan. And in the next session, we're actually going to do some action planning, some goal setting for what is our 3 month, what's our 6 month, what's our 12-month goal. So I want you to join us again for the last of this 3 series, because you're gonna leave this with a roadmap. We've gotten the motivation, we've gotten some deep questions, we're priming this pump. But it's very important for us to have action. You being here is action. You watching this on YouTube is action, because if you don't take the action, you will stay stuck. How many of you feel like you're stuck in some area of your life? I want you to just put in the chat. You feel a little stuck and you've just been trying to get unstuck. I want you to put in the chat for me. Okay. Anybody else? You feel stuck? Anybody else? I'm gonna wait here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see somebody else. Okay. So one of the things that I've learned about the feeling of being stuck is sometimes we are and sometimes we aren't. But it goes back to that assessment. If you are feeling stuck, this is the perfect time for you to actually engage somebody else in your life who's either doing what you want to do, who's either having some success in their lives, who's a positive, motivated, go getting person who has self initiative, that you can sit down with and say, you know what, I'm feeling stuck. It's important sometimes first to assess, why do I feel stuck? What am I stuck in? Where am I stuck? Now, if you have the courage to come on camera and you want to share a little more, I'm happy, let's see. Okay. Okay, but okay, so let's see. I see someone else here. Who wants to come on camera and actually share a little more with me about this? Don't feel it's the issue of being stuck. Okay, but but dot dot dot. Um, this is where having courage and taking the steps of belief and faith to really do something opposite of what's trying to hold us back can really help us to get unstuck or to move beyond the place we already are. And so I think it would be helpful if you wanted to encourage for using your voice. And I love what you shared, right? Because what you've been able to do already just with those questions is you've been able to identify, here's my why, and here's what I love. Because though, and it's important to know that so that we hold that here. But then you also are saying, okay, what I love and what my passion is not necessarily where my paycheck is. And that's happening for a lot of people. But the advantage you have is you've named something. You're getting a check, but you got this passion and you got this purpose and you got this understanding of one of your strengths. So now what you can do while you're getting the check and while you knowing this is a blessing and I'm appreciative and I'm grateful because I need this for some sustenance. But wow, wouldn't it be great if I could have this and this married together and move forward to make meaning, make money while making great impact, right? My model that I created. That's when use the paycheck, use these classes and this stuff that you're doing right now to start identifying, these passion, this purpose, these strengths. But then, like I said, in the next session, we're going to put a plan together. So while this money's over here, this could be a bridge to this, okay? This can be a bridge to taking this passion and this purpose and moving forward to the next opportunity where you can help people and where you can actually do your purpose and you can make a difference and you can have a paycheck, right? So it's not jump ship, quit the job and just be out there, helping people. No one is saying that, right? We're saying this sometimes knowing what you don't want and knowing what's not fulfilling is just as helpful as knowing what you want. I have a book that I'm working on, and it has a lot of these powerful questions in them, right? So I don't just ask, what do you want? I also ask, what don't you want? Because if you don't want something, then that at least is a clarifier for what you do want, whether that's in a job or whether that's in life. Even if it comes to relationships, we always talk about the list, what I want in a relationship. But what don't you want in a relationship? What I want in a job? Well, what don't you want in a job? What I want in my finances? Well, what don't you want in your finances? When we begin to ask those questions and to actually do some planning, that enables us and empowers us to actually accomplish the goals and the action plan that we set forth. So that is something that we're going to do in the next session, is dig into action planning, goal setting, doing some objectives, because sometimes we're doing a lot of talking, but we're not doing a lot of action. But I love that right now, these two sessions have been about identification work. It's been about self discovery. Who am I? What do I want? Where am I going? How am I pivoting? Am I at a crossroad? If so, how do I get unstuck? How do I move to the next stage? How do I get around these obstacles that are here? All these are great questions. All this is great input that you guys are given. And hopefully, what I'm trying to do is stir the pot. Is stir the pot. Is get you thinking, get you feeling, and to get you uncomfortable where you are. Sometimes we need somebody to come and kick us in the butt, or somebody to remind us, hey, you're more than that. You're more than that. If you're more than that, I want you to put it in the chat. I'm more than that. I'm tapping you today to let you know you have currency, and the currency on the inside of you is that you are more than that. You are more than where you are. You are more than what you're doing. You are more than what you even want. It's bigger than what you can see. But you've got to take the leaps of faith. You've got to take the steps and put action to what it is that you're saying. Your action tonight is that you're in this workshop, that you are writing things in your journal on the pieces of paper, that you're thinking, that you're feeling. And what you'll find is, even after this session, things are going to come up to you in your dreams. Conversations may shift or change. You may actually find yourself calling someone and saying, hey, I want to sit down with you and have an informational conversation. You may start saying, you know what, I do need to just sit down and talk with my boss and say, hey, how am I doing? What do you see that I can grow? Is there growth in this organization? Is there growth in this company? Is there room for me to be promoted? Sometimes you have to be the best, not sometimes, all the times. You've got to be an advocate for yourself. You got to let somebody know that you want more at times. And there's a way to do it, and there's a way not to do it. So, whatever industry you're in, whatever your job is, many times there's more. But use that as a stepping stone for the next level of growth, of development, and of opportunity that you need. I see somebody else has as a reminder. Okay. This Zoom is recorded. As we shared in the beginning, this Zoom is being recorded. And so other people who are listening to this, you may also have your opportunities that you can learn from what it is that we've been talking about during the session. But that we talked about the fear of change. We talked about taking some steps of action, some steps of faith. We also talked about really having the courage to actually change. It takes courage to change. It's not just something that just happens by itself. You have to have the courage to change. And you have to have the courage to name what it is that you want, because it is going to provoke you to have to change. Also, we talked a lot about having a community of people that are surrounding you. And that community of people can really help you with your finding, with your fighting for, and with your fulfilling of your dream. And this is where I do want you to ask yourself a question. Who is in my community? Who is in my community right now for what it is that you say you want to do and say that you want to be and where you want to go to the next level? Who is in your community right now? And who needs to be in your community? What type of person needs to come into your community to help you go to the next level? I just want you to take a moment to write that down. Who is in your community right now? and then who needs to be in your community in order for you to go to the next level of your life, of your career, or of some particular goal or action that you need to take. Take a moment to write that. Now, anybody else want to share a particular, I want someone to give me an example of when they were surrounded by a community and they accomplished something great. Because I just want somebody to give us an example of what that means, that you were once in your life surrounded by a community that helped you accomplish something, helped you move past a fear, helped you get some knowledge that you needed. Anybody want to share one of those times where having a community around you, a dream keeper, a coach, or somebody around you, and it actually helped you move to the next level? Who do I have out here? See, if we were in a in-person workshop, I would call on you and just make you speak. Anybody want to talk about when they actually had an opportunity of somebody surrounding them or a community? Okay, so I will share this. I was talking about this very organization that I'm now the founder of. I was actually talking about a problem that I saw. In me talking about that problem, the Chicago Community Renewal Society got wind of what I was doing, and they said, this is really bigger than what you think it is. This is actually a nonprofit organization. And I thought I was supposed to do this maybe when I was even older, but they came around me, a community of academics, a community of community leaders, a community of tools and all the different things. And before I knew it, I actually had an organization that you are eating the fruit of now, some 20 something years later, because a community came around me, came around my ideas, came around my vision, came around my purpose and destiny, and supported me so that I could accomplish something that could make meaning, make money, but make great impact and impact you even tonight. So that's the power of me being able to understand I need a community around the seed of my dreams. I need a community around the seed of my vision and the seed of my destiny. And then years later, that seed grew up into having impacted over 20,000 people nationally and even in South Africa. And so it's very important that we don't forsake the seed and that we don't um, humble ourselves to ask for help when we need help, or to listen to someone when they say, young lady, young man, there's more here than you're really looking at. And if you're not afraid, we will help you go to the next level. I want to deal with fear because in pivoting and in changing careers at the crossroad, there can be a lot of fear. Um, and I just want to make sure that we deal with this. When you're fulfilling a dream and when you're pursuing a dream, there's always going to be some fear, some nervousness. But it's just like when you get on a roller coaster or you go to an amusement park. You might have some butterflies in your stomach, but it's an adventure. It's a ride. And so when you look at it from a standpoint of, I'm willing to take the ride, I'm willing to go on this adventure, it can truly change your perspective of not having fear to go on this ride, but having faith and having belief and having a courage that I want what's on the other side of this more than I want to stand on this side of the block and not experience what's on the other side of this. So I'm really exhorting all of you today to look at the fear, face and confront it, and do it anyway. Just do it anyway. Simone Biles just made a comeback. Won all kind of gold medals, silver medal, at the Olympics. Do you think she wasn't afraid that the same thing that happened in 2020 could possibly happen in 2024? Absolutely. She said it out of her own mouth. But did she still face the fear and confront it? Did she think the twisties might possibly come back? Did she all these things that go in our mind, because sometimes our worst enemy can be between these two ears. And I'm just saying to you, don't let fear rob you of your destiny. Don't let fear rob you of your destiny. Don't let fear rob you of the joy and the happiness and the life and career choices that you can make to really get to the other side. Don't talk yourself out of it. Put yourself around some other people who are going to believe in you and who know that you can do it. Everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs a cheerleader. Everybody needs dream keepers. And that's why I'm really telling you, the people who are the greats that you see and that you may look up to, that may inspire you, that you might call your idol, they have a team of people. They have a community of people around them that's helping them to do what they're doing. You may think, well, man, Danita, I don't have that. Yeah, my parents didn't do it. This person, there's always someone. It might be an organization. It might be the Tough Gift the Touch Gift Foundation. It may be Destiny Outreach. It may be some coach out there. It may be an online course. But there's always coaches and people who believe in you that can help you do what it is that you have to do. You have to build that team. Oh, I love that. Yes, you have to build a team. I'm a sports fan. And, I may be all, I may look all girly, girly, but let's get into some sports. And, I got my cap on and I'm ready to go, right? You got to build a team. My mom has a saying that is really, really pertinent, Titus. Players play, teams win. Players play, teams win. The reason why we have to build that team around us is because we want to win. We've been playing. We've been out on the court like Jordan was back in the day, and he was playing, and Kobe, he was playing. They were getting points, but they didn't win until they had the team, and they played as a team because we need each other. And so players play, teams win. So I want you to be able to be on a team that can win. So even if you are the Jordan of the team, you're going to need a Pippen. You're going to need a Scotty. You're going to need Scotty. You're going to need Paxson. You're going to need, BJ. Some 3-pointers. If just like I love Steph Curry, but he needs a team. And when the team ain't playing, no matter how great Steph is, the team is not going to win. So I want you to know that's the power of us having to have a team. It may not be 5 people. It may not be 4 people. It may be 2 or 3 people. It may be that you're on this team right now. We're all huddled together tonight, today. We're huddled because we are on a career quest. We are navigating our career path. The pivots, the crossroads, I want to move faster. I want more. I need to move past these obstacles. I need the right question. I need a solution. I need a change. I'm not comfortable where I am because it's just time for me to go up from here. And all that is good. But you need team to do that. Sometime that person on your team might be the person who's going to finance your dream. Sometime that person on your team might be the person who's going to be your wingman. And so team might look different for me than team might look for you. But we all have to build a team because there's going to come a time when us talking to ourselves may not be enough. We might need a team that's cheerleading, a motivator on our team to say, ain't time for you to be complaining, ain't time for you to procrastinate. It's time for you to get up and go and do what it is that you said you were going to do. So very important. The other thing that I was wanting to share is I need you to protect your dream, your vision, and your destiny. When you are on this pathway and this journey to your sense of destiny and purpose, or whatever career shift or change or upgrade that you're doing, you have to protect it. Sometimes everybody is not wanting your best good for you. And you got to know when to hold, when to fold in terms of when to share. and when not to share. I really want to make sure that you understand that, because there are times I had to be secretive about what I was doing and about who I was at that time. Because sometimes, like I said, you got the haters. Sometimes people wanted to be a copycat. They wanted to see if they could get it done before you. There's all kind of things, but you've got to protect and be with people who are safe, with people who can be loyal, with people who can be trustworthy with your innermost parts of yourself, which is your dream, which is who am I? So learn on this journey who some of your advocates are, who some of your allies are, and who your dream keepers are. Because there are people that if I'm a pretty positive person, but I have days too. I get down and I'm like, oh man, that was not cool. How am I going to get past this? How am I going to do this? And sometimes I'll just get a call from somebody. They don't even know I'm going through that. And I'm so blessed that they'll just say, Danita, I don't know. It just dropped in my spirit to just call you and just let you know you got this. And sometimes all you need is you got this. You know, all you need is all right, I don't know what's on you. I don't know what's going on over there, but keep on going because the world needs you. And that's what I want to say to you today. Keep on going. The world needs you. Your family needs you. Your community needs you. There are people that you don't even think are looking at you and need you. Sometimes you're counting yourself out, but God's counting you in. And I just don't want you to let the frustrations of life, the pivots and the crossroads and what it takes to actually make those pivots and to have the crossroads there. I don't want you to think that that disqualifies you from being as great as you really are. But you got to dig deep and you can't give up. A lot of people are giving up. And the difference between somebody achieving their dream and someone not achieving their dream is the person who didn't give up. We have been through a lot. We are going through a lot. And there's so much more for us to accomplish. But we can do that together as we encourage each other and as we help each other through a lot of these shifts and turns and pivots and crossroads. So, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what job you may be on now or career you're thinking that you want to shift to, there's always something more. Many of you said, I want more. I want more. Take time in the next 30 something days before now and the end of the year. And I want you to begin to take some personal time in a journal and to begin to really ask yourself about these big what's next for you. 2025 is a blank canvas that has your name on it. And the possibilities are unlimited, but you've got to be intentional. I want you to say to yourself, I've got to be intentional. Things don't just happen. There's an intention. There's a purpose. There's a thoughtfulness that you need to have to make these things become a reality for you. And I say that because sometimes we say, oh, I want to write a book. Oh, I want a new job. Oh, and we're really saying that, but there's no real intention there. But if you say, I'm writing a book, there's an intention there. There is a confidence there, and there's a boldness that what you said, you are really going to do that. And so I want you to begin to look in your life of taking a good assessment, doing some of these assessment tools that we talked about, and making sure that you really use the tools that we've been talking about in the first session, in the second session. And I want you to do the self-examination, that self-excavation. And I want you to ask yourself some hard questions. And then I want you to ask, what more do you want in 2025? You've had So much that's happened in 2024. You've learned some things, you've lost some things, you've gained some things. But what do you want in 2025? If you're honest, and I said this at the top of our session, be honest with yourself. Learn to have that trait of honesty with self, because it's going to allow you, just like one of the courageous people who shared with us, to be able to say, I know who I am in this. I know this is my strong gift around helping people, loving people, wanting to engage with people. I've got a job. It's good, but it's not great. It's giving me the monies, that I need, but there's more. There's more. That's honesty. That honesty is going to be met with an answer. If you're lying to yourself, oh, I love my job, I love everything I'm doing, then you'll just be there and you will be complacent and you won't be satisfied when there's something that's got your name on it that you could have just ran down the road, been honest, and you could actually cease and take hold of something that is going to make meaning, make money while making great impact, and you will be satisfied and fulfilled because you found it, you fought for it, and you're fulfilling it. I want you to really take this time to really realize you have more in you. You need to do more, because if there's anything that this society has taught us, it is waiting for us to show up. It is waiting for us to stop complaining, to stop just being a spectator watching everybody else do what it is that we do. It's time to do it. It's time to get the team, get the tools, do the work. You want success on this pathway? Do the work. You want success on this pathway? Be teachable. You want success on this pathway? Don't be afraid. You want success on this pathway? Take the risk. I'm an only child from the south side of Chicago who moved to Los Angeles, didn't have any family there, didn't know a soul there. God opened the door, landed my first job on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I took a risk. That may not be your journey. Your risk may be taking a job that you don't think you're qualified for and realize that you are qualified for it because of the qualities and the currency that you have on the inside of you. It is important for you to take some risk towards the end of this year and going into 2025. As you begin to start thinking about that, I'm setting the tone, because when we come back together in December, you are going to be literally writing a roadmap of where you want to go. What are some of those action steps? What are some of the objectives? And what are some of the things that you're going to have to move past for you to accomplish that, so that you can have an action plan when you leave these 3 sessions? It's been such an honor to be with you today and to hear some of your voices, to chat with you in the chat message, because I really take it seriously when people trust me with their insides. This is an inside job. This is an inside out life, not an outside in. This is not for the faint at heart. This is going to stick with you because you're not going to feel comfortable to be complacent. And you're not going to be stuck, because what we did today is we started putting some oil in there to lubricate those dreams, lubricate your thought process, lubricate. How do I get more? How do I get past the crossroad, past feeling stuck, past whatever it is, going faster, going further? How do I do that? And some of that is the answers on the inside of you. The answer is in some of these tools and some of these tests and some of these things that you're doing. It's going to help you. And the boldness. That's the last thing I will share. Be bold. You have nothing to lose, all to gain. Be bold. Be confident, be bold. Because in that confidence and in that boldness, there's so much that can come out of that. It's also connected to your courage, the courage to be bold, then leads to a confidence. And the more you do something, the more confident you become at it. You may, none of us were experts at something until we started doing it, until we started doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And then it just became like a second nature. So I want you to take the time to invest more on you, invest more in the currency of who you are and what you want to do with who you are and how that is going to impact the people around you, the community around you, the society around you, because it's bigger than you. God put that on the inside of you so that you could impact nations and impact people. Don't rob us of the greatness that's on the inside of you. Your career quest is not just for you, it's for us. I need you just as much as you need me. Thank you. I'm Danita Patterson. It was wonderful to be with you today.
Amazing. Thank you so much for really providing a exceptional session for today. Today we really dive deeper into, you asked a lot of questions, and most importantly, what I got out of it was, are you enough? Where are you? What do you want to do? And where do you want to go? So Danita, we want to thank you. We want to give her a virtual round of applause for her commitment for today. And you guys staying on it. It is on a Tuesday evening. It's late at night, so thank you so much for staying with us. We're actually going to ask you guys to do a survey. We need your feedback. Let us know how well the session was, or if you want to provide any feedback or pointers. We grow through feedback. So thank you so much. I just dropped the link in the chat so you guys can have it. And we also have as Danita mentioned earlier, she does have one more session with us, and that one is, let me get my notes together, y'all. Stand by so I can get the dates. All right, so Danita's next session is mapping your career goal setting and planning. That one is December 10th on a Tuesday. Same time, 7 p.m. We also have a session this Thursday with Rachel Turner. If you guys have the capacity, we want to invite you out to join us for that. I will be dropping the link for that session so you guys can register. And again, thank you so much for lending us your time. Please complete those surveys. If you have any questions, concerns, or issues, we would love to hear from you. And again, thank you, Miss Danita Patterson, the phenomenal Danita Patterson, for sharing all these gems. You did it. I learned, and I'm ready to grow. And I want more. I want more. I desire more. And whatever I have to do to make more happen, more will come my way. So come on, let's grow together, guys. And we will give you back your time, guys. You have 24 minutes that we're going to give back to you. So enjoy your evening and take care.